Most people think discipline is a personality trait, like height, or eye color, or the ability to eat one single cookie and calmly put the box back in the kitchen. A mysterious superpower that some people are born with, and others are doomed to chase forever while lying in bed at 11:47 p.m. saying, "Tomorrow I become a new person." But here is the uncomfortable truth. Discipline is not really about being stronger. It is about being better engineered. Your brain was not designed to help you wake up at 5 a.m., drink green juice, answer emails, go to the gym, meditate, journal, meal prep, and build a side business before breakfast. That is not a human. That is a productivity robot with Wi-Fi. Your brain evolved for survival. For most of human history, the main goal was simple: save energy, avoid danger, find food, reproduce, and try not to get eaten by something with bigger teeth. So when your modern brain sees a difficult task with a delayed reward, it does not say, "Amazing personal growth." It says, "Absolutely not. This looks expensive." And that is where the discipline myth begins. Because if you keep trying to defeat millions of years of biology with motivational quotes and guilt, you will lose. Not because you are weak, because the strategy is bad. But here is where it gets interesting. The most disciplined people are usually not fighting their brains harder. They are designing their lives smarter. And once you understand that, discipline stops being a punishment and becomes a system. But before we get to that system, we need to expose the real enemy hiding behind your procrastination. Your brain loves immediate rewards. That is not an opinion. It is basic neuroscience. Immediate pleasure activates reward circuits quickly. Social media, sugar, notifications, scrolling, all of these give the brain fast feedback. Work, studying, exercise, or building a long-term goal usually gives a delayed reward. And to the brain, delayed rewards are like a check that says, "Payment will arrive in 6 months." Not very exciting. This is called delay discounting. The further away a reward is, the less valuable it feels right now. So yes, you may deeply want to be fit, successful, calm, focused, and financially stable. But your brain also wants dopamine in the next 4 seconds. And TikTok delivers faster than a 6-month fitness transformation. That is why just be disciplined is terrible advice. It is like telling someone with no map, no fuel, and a broken GPS, just arrive. The first real shift is this: stop asking, "Why am I so lazy?" Start asking, "Why is the right action so hard to start?" And this leads to the first major principle: friction controls behavior. A 2010 study from University College London found that habit formation took an average of 66 days. But the full range was huge, from 18 days to 254 days. Translation: no, your life will not transform after 3 perfect mornings and 1 motivational podcast. Your brain needs repetition, context, and time. This is good news, because if habits are built through repetition, then discipline is not magic. It is architecture. And now comes the open loop. If discipline is architecture, then your environment may be quietly designing your life without your permission. Look around your room. Seriously, your environment is not neutral. It is voting for your future. If your phone is next to your bed, it is voting for scrolling. If your running shoes are buried in a closet under 3 bags and a forgotten HDMI cable, your environment is voting against exercise. If your desk looks like a crime scene made of cables, receipts, and emotional damage, it is voting against focus. Researchers in behavioral science call this situation design or choice architecture. The idea is simple. People do more of what is visible, easy, and immediately available. One famous cafeteria example often discussed in habit design showed that simply placing water bottles in more visible locations increased water sales by 25.7% and reduced soda sales by 11.4%. No lecture, no shame, no motivational speech from a man in tight shorts yelling about mindset. Just placement. That is the power of environment. Want to read more? Put the book where your phone usually is. Want to train in the morning? Put your workout clothes beside your bed. Want to stop eating snacks at night? Do not keep snacks at eye level like they are museum artifacts. The most disciplined people are not constantly resisting temptation. They are avoiding unnecessary battles. Angela Duckworth and colleagues described this as situational self-control. Changing the situation before temptation becomes too strong. In plain English, do not stand in front of the cake for 20 minutes and then call yourself weak for wanting cake. Move the cake, or move yourself, preferably before the cake starts whispering. This is why discipline is less about heroic self-control and more about intelligent design. You win earlier in the chain. You win before the temptation fully forms. But now you might ask, okay, environment matters. But how do I actually build the habit? How do I make the right action automatic? This is where habit stacking enters the story. Your brain already has hundreds of automatic loops. You wake up and check your phone. You brush your teeth. You make coffee. You lock the door. You sit down and open the same apps without thinking. These habits are not asking for permission. They are running silently in the background, like tiny behavioral robots. Habit stacking means attaching a new habit to an existing one. After I brush my teeth, I do 2 minutes of stretching. After I make coffee, I write 3 lines in my journal. After I sit at my desk, I open the document before opening any browser. After I close my laptop, I prepare tomorrow's workout clothes. The genius is that you do not create a habit from zero. You borrow momentum from a habit that already exists. And this matters because starting is usually the hardest part. A 2-minute action sounds almost stupidly small, but that is the point. Your brain does not panic when the action is tiny. Read 1 page feels possible. Become a highly educated person feels exhausting. Do 2 push-ups feels easy. Transform your body feels like a Netflix documentary waiting to happen. Small habits are not impressive in the moment, but they are identity votes. Every time you do the tiny action, you tell your brain, I am the kind of person who follows through. And that is exactly the mission of Rewire Your Brain. Not to force yourself into a new life, but to rebuild the patterns that make your new life feel natural. But there is one final trap. Even with the right environment and tiny habits, many people still fail because they build habits that feel miserable. This is where James Clear's 4 laws of behavior change become useful. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Make it obvious. Your cue should be visible. Make it attractive. Pair the habit with something you enjoy. Make it easy. Reduce the starting effort. Make it satisfying. Give your brain a small reward. Let's say you want to study every night. The bad version is vague. I'll study more. Congratulations. You have created a ghost habit. No time, no trigger, no plan, no reward. The smarter version is specific. After dinner, I will sit at my desk, open my notes, and study for 5 minutes. Then I'll mark the day on a tracker. 5 minutes may sound too small. Good. That means your brain cannot negotiate with it. Once you start, you may continue. But even if you stop after 5 minutes, you protected the identity. I showed up. That is the real game. Not perfection. Continuity. Because missing once is human. Missing twice is a pattern. Missing for 3 weeks and then buying a new notebook to restart your life is basically a national tradition. The final truth is this: you do not become disciplined by hating yourself into action. You become disciplined by making the right behavior easier than the wrong one. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So stop asking for more motivation. Motivation is unstable. It changes with sleep, stress, mood, hunger, weather, and whether someone looked at you weird in the elevator. Build systems instead. Make your environment work for you. Stack habits onto routines you already do. Start so small that resistance has no room to breathe. Reward the behavior quickly. And most importantly, build the identity through repetition. Discipline is not a moral trophy. It is not proof that you are better than other people. It is simply what happens when your environment, habits, and identity stop fighting each other. So here's the question. What is one habit you could redesign today? Not by trying harder, but by making it easier. Write it down. Put the cue somewhere visible. Make the first step ridiculously small. Then repeat. Because the person you want to become is not built in one dramatic transformation. They are built in small votes, repeated daily, until your brain finally gets the message. This is who we are now. And if this video helped you see discipline differently, stay connected. Because on this channel, we do not just talk about changing your life. We break down the psychology, the neuroscience, and the systems that actually make change possible.